The holidays have arrived at the Home Depot, and we're here to help bring the excitement with decor for every part of your home. Check out our wide assortment of easy-to-assemble pre-lit trees so you can spend less time setting up and more time celebrating. And bring your holiday spirit outdoors with unique decor like one of our Santa inflatables. Whatever your style, find the right pieces at the right prices this holiday season at the Home Depot.
You're about to make a trade. Which you do you listen to? Is it get optioning those options? Or let's do a little research. Learn more at finra.org/trade-smart.
This is Optimal Work Daily on Full Horizon Planning and the Underappreciated Power of Workflow Systems by Cal Newport of calnewport.com. The missing system. Here's something that baffles me. The fact that most companies don't invest in helping their employees develop effective workflow systems. It's probably worth taking a moment here for definitions. When I say workflow system, I mean a set of habits and tools used to organize what work you do and when you do it. And when I say effective, I'm referring to the amount of value you produce. Most people don't dedicate much thought to such systems. The default, instead, is to run your day as a reaction to events and deadlines on your calendar, an inconsistently referenced task list, and most of all, the flux coursing through your inbox. As productivity nerds know, however, there are much more effective ways to get important things done. Full horizon planning. Consider my own workflow system, evolved over a decade of close scrutiny. I call it full horizon planning. The motivating philosophy here is simple. Every project I'm obligated to complete has two states, dormant or active. If it's dormant, it's tracked somewhere that is regularly reviewed so I won't forget. And once I make it active, and this is the important part, I make a plan for how and when the whole thing will be completed. To pull this off, this plan must exist at multiple levels of refining granularity. That is, on the monthly level, I know what weeks I will work on the project, and only when I get to those weeks do I plan out what days I will work on it, and only when I get to the specific days do I figure out which hours it will consume. These plans, of course, change as things unfold, but the point is that I don't deal in abstractions. I like to work directly with the brute physicality of time. This makes sure I get the most out of the cycles I have available, and it prevents me from committing to more than is feasible. This workflow system requires more upfront investment of mental energy than lurching from deadline to deadline, and it certainly wouldn't work for all types of jobs. But it's a major factor in my ability to consistently move ideas from conception to completion and do so while rarely working past 5. To summarize, a good workflow system can, I suspect, at least double the amount of value the average employee produces. And yet, we rarely see much emphasis placed on optimizing this piece of the professional puzzle. This smells like a big open opportunity to me. Not all emails are created equal, by Cal Newport of calnewport.com. Interviews are a common part of the book publicity process, especially as you become better known as a writer. Between television, radio, print, and podcasts, I ended up doing well north of 100 interviews about digital minimalism since its release last February. Given this volume of appointments, which is actually modest compared to many authors, I arranged things with my publicity team at Penguin so that they could book interviews on my behalf. Using a service called Acuity, I specified what times I was available, and they then put interviews directly on my calendar during these periods, all without requiring me to participate in the scheduling conversations. Viewed objectively, this setup shouldn't have made a big difference in my life. Scheduling an interview takes around 3 or 4 back and forth messages on average. This adds up to somewhere around 300 or 400 extra email messages diverted from my inbox. When you consider that these scheduling threads were spread over 6 months and that the average professional user sends and receives over 125 emails per day, the communication I saved with this setup should have been lost in the noise of my frenetic inbox. But it did matter. Not having to wrangle those scheduling emails provided a huge psychological benefit. The observation that explains this discrepancy is that not all emails are created equal. In my experience, the cognitive toll of 3 or 4 back and forth scheduling emails spread out over a day is much greater than the 3 or 4 standalone emails that each require, at best, a one-time reply. The back-and-forth emails hurt more because they conflict with a social brain that has evolved to prioritize back-and-forth conversation with members of our tribe. When we send an email to someone and are awaiting their response, there's a corner of cognitive real estate occupied by this ongoing transaction, nervous about the open loop, fueling a gnawing background hum of minor anxiety. Rationally, we know it's not critical that we catch and respond to the next message in the exchange right away. But to our more primal circuits, honed on a deep historical scale that predates asynchronous communication, such distinctions are irrelevant. Before I fall too far down a treacherous evolutionary psychology rabbit hole, let me step back to emphasize the general point at play in this example. When we think about email as an abstract digital information delivery service, we miss many of the subtle ways in which it causes more pointed miseries. If we want to get a handle on our current age of communication overload and knowledge worker burnout, we must first explore the specific manner in which this form of modern interaction clashes disastrously with our Paleolithic brains. You just listened to the posts titled, "On Full Horizon Planning and the Underappreciated Power of Workflow Systems," and "Not All Emails Are Created Equal," both by Cal Newport of calnewport.com.
Tonight on NBC, Jimmy Fallon and Bozoma St. John host the incredible new competition show.
I hired 10 creatives from all walks of life. They will be battling it out to see who can impress the world's biggest brands.
This is a huge opportunity.
This is the battle for the next big idea.
This is not play.
We're spending millions of dollars.
I'm so excited to embark on this adventure with all of you.
May the best idea win!
On Brand with Jimmy Fallon, tonight on NBC.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
And thanks to Cal, who's a highly accomplished author that we narrate here pretty regularly and also across a bunch of our other shows. He's got a few really popular books, including So Good They Can't Ignore You and Deep Work. Those are two that you might have heard of, both of them highly reviewed. Cal completed his undergraduate studies at Dartmouth College in 2004 and received a PhD from MIT in 2009 in computer science. He was then a postdoctoral associate in the MIT Computer Science Department from 2009 to 2011, and in 2011, he joined Georgetown University as an assistant professor of computer science and was granted tenure in 2017. And again, he's got multiple popular books that are worth checking out, plus his blog, which is called Study Hacks. And finally, you can check out his podcast called Deep Questions as well, and you can find all of that right at calnewport.com. But that's going to do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed our post from Cal and that you're having a great weekend. And I will be right back here with you tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.